Be me. 24 years old, living in mom's basement, professional disappointment to society. Have degree in philosophy, which is about as useful as a screen door on a submarine. Spend days playing League of Legends, watching anime, eating Hot Pockets like they're a food group. Mom keeps telling me I need to get out there and meet people, like I'm some kind of social Pokemon she's trying to evolve. Decide to go to local coffee shop because mom threatened to charge me rent. Rent, in the basement, the audacity. Throw on my cleanest graphic tee, it's got Pikachu on it, hasn't been washed in 3 days, but it passes the sniff test. Walk into this hipster coffee place that smells like pretension and overpriced beans. There's like 12 types of milk on the menu. When did we domesticate so many animals? Order regular coffee, because I'm not paying $7 for something called a Unicorn Frappuccino Dream Blast. Sit down in the corner with my laptop, gonna do some job searching, which is code ishid for browsing memes. That's when she walks in. Purple hair, nose ring, wearing shirt that says the future is female, with a picture of Rosie the Riveter doing a TikTok dance or something. She's got more pins on her jacket than a Pinterest board, each one more aggressively political than the last. She orders something with oat milk and extra shots of self-righteousness. Sits down at table next to mine, pulls out MacBook covered in stickers about smashing patriarchy. I'm minding my own business, scrolling through Reddit, when I accidentally laugh at a meme too loud. She glares at me like I just kicked a puppy in front of PETA headquarters. Something funny? She asks, voice dripping with the kind of judgment usually reserved for people who microwave fish in office break rooms. Just a meme, nothing serious. She leans over, uninvited, to see my screen. It's a picture of a cat with caption, "Icon has cheeseburger," because I'm a man of refined taste. That meme format is from like 2007. It's literally ancient internet history. She says this like I'm browsing hieroglyphics instead of harmless cat pictures. Yeah, well, I'm a retro kind of guy. I also enjoy breathing and eating food from before this decade. She rolls her eyes so hard I'm worried they're gonna roll right out of her head and across the coffee shop floor. Let me guess, you probably think Friends is still funny and use "that's what she said" jokes. I mean, Friends is still funny, it's on Netflix for a reason, and yeah, "That's What She Said" is a classic. She looks at me like I just admitted to enjoying YouTube comment sections. Those jokes are rooted in sexist humor that objectifies women and reduces them to punchlines in male-dominated comedic structures. I blink at her, blink again. Ma'am, this is a Starbucks, not a gender studies lecture hall. Her face turns red, like angry red, like she's about to Super Saiyan into her final form. First of all, it's not a Starbucks, it's an independent coffee shop. And second, everything is political, including your dismissive attitude toward feminist critique. Other people in coffee shop are starting to stare. Barista is watching us like we're about to start the main event at WrestleMania. Listen, I didn't come here to debate. I came here to drink mediocre coffee and avoid my mother's disappointed sighs. Of course you live with your mother. That tracks perfectly with your worldview. Low blow, ma'am. Low blow. Hey, I'm financially responsible. Rent is expensive. And mom makes great lasagna. It's a mutually beneficial arrangement. It's not financially responsible. It's avoiding adulthood. She's getting louder. People are definitely watching now. One guy has his phone out. Pretty sure he's recording this for TikTok. Great. I'm gonna be on the internet as Basement Dweller gets owned by Feminist Compilation 2024. At least I'm not spending $12 on coffee that tastes like burned dreams and oat squeezings. It's called '08 milk, and it's better for the environment than dairy, which contributes to methane emissions and animal cruelty. The cows are gonna fart whether we drink their milk or not. It's literally what cows do. She slams her hand on the table. Her MacBook wobbles dangerously. This is exactly the problem with men like you. You make jokes about everything instead of engaging with serious issues. And people like you make serious issues out of everything, including 100-year-old cat memes. We're fully yelling now. Barista approaches cautiously like we're two wild animals at the zoo. Hey folks, maybe we could lower the volume a bit. Purple-haired feminist turns to him. Are you tone policing me right now? Is that what's happening? Because that's a classic silencing tactic. Barista backs away slowly, hands up like he's dealing with a bomb. I'm sitting here wondering how my quest for coffee turned into a philosophical cage match. She turns back to me, eyes blazing with the fury of 1,000 Tumblr posts. You know what your problem is? You're comfortable. You've never had to struggle. You've never faced discrimination. You just coast through life making jokes. Lady, I have a philosophy degree and live in a basement. My life is a joke. I'm very aware. That's different. That's consequences of your own choices, not systemic oppression. Pretty sure the system that made college cost $100,000 for a piece of paper that qualifies me to work at GameStop is pretty oppressive. She opens her mouth to respond, then closes it, then opens it again like a confused fish. That's economic inequality, which is also important, but we're talking about gender issues. We were talking about cat memes 3 minutes ago. I don't know how we got here. She takes a deep breath, trying to calm herself. Okay, let's start over. Clearly we got off on the wrong foot. She extends her hand for a handshake like we're diplomats negotiating a peace treaty. I'm Riley, women's studies major, activist and full-time dismantler of patriarchal structures. I shake her hand because Mom raised me to have some manners. I'm Jake, basement dweller, meme enthusiast, and apparently enemy of progress. She almost smiles. It's like watching a rare wildlife event. Look, I know I come on strong, but these issues matter to me. Representation matters, language matters, all of it matters. I get that, I do, but maybe starting conversations by attacking people's meme choices isn't the best strategy. She sits back down. I notice her coffee is probably cold by now from all the yelling. You're right, that wasn't productive. I just get so frustrated when I see people being dismissive. And I get frustrated when people assume I'm dismissive just because I make jokes. Humor is how some of us cope with existential dread. We sit in awkward silence for a moment. The coffee shop has returned to normal noise levels, disappointed that the show is over. So, philosophy degree, huh? What's your thesis on the meaning of life? She asks, genuinely curious now. That there isn't one, and we're all just making it up as we go, which is why I might as well do it from a basement with good Wi-Fi. She actually laughs at this. It's not a full laugh, more like a snort-chuckle hybrid, but it counts. That's pretty nihilistic. Ever read Sartre? Yeah, existentialism is just nihilism with extra steps and worse vibes. She's fully smiling now. This is weird. 5 minutes ago, she looked ready to throw her laptop at my head. Okay, that's actually funny. I'll give you that. See? I can be funny without being problematic. It's my superpower. She rolls her eyes, but she's still smiling. Don't push it, basement boy. We end up talking for like an hour about philosophy, politics, why Ross and Rachel were toxic. The usual stuff. Turns out when she's not in activist mode, she's actually pretty cool. She tells me about her major, how she wants to work in nonprofits, make actual change in the world. I respect that, even if I think she's overly optimistic about humanity's capacity for improvement. So what do you do all day besides live rent-free and eat Hot Pockets? She asks. I'll have you know I pay rent now, Mom's new policy, and I'm trying to find a job, but nobody wants to hire a philosophy major. Have you tried nonprofits? They're always looking for people, and they don't pay well, so there's less competition. Wow, what a sales pitch. Come work for us, we offer poverty wages and existential fulfillment. She throws a napkin at me. I'm trying to help you, ungrateful basement dweller. I appreciate it truly, but I'm not sure I'm non-profit material. I'm barely profit material. We exchange numbers before leaving because apparently surviving a public argument creates friendship bonds. She texts me an hour later. That's what she said is still not funny. I text back, that's what she said. She sends me the eye roll emoji. I send back the crying, laughing emoji. This is the beginning of either a beautiful friendship or a disaster, probably both. Over the next few weeks, Riley keeps texting me articles about systemic inequality, gender wage gaps, and why Marvel movies are actually feminist propaganda. I respond with memes and counter-arguments delivered through references to The Office and Parks and Recreation. She pretends to hate it, but I notice she always responds. One day she texts, "Coffee shop argument rematch? I've got new material. Only if you promise not to attack my choice of beverage this time." No promises. If you order something called a manly mocha, I'm obligated to say something. I show up at the coffee shop. She's already there with her laptop and activist pins, but this time she's smiling when she sees me. I sit down with my regular coffee. She's got some complicated drink that probably costs more than my hourly wage would be if I had a job. Okay, let's talk about why your generation ruined dating with apps, she starts. My generation? You're like 2 years older than me, max. We're the same generation. Emotionally, I'm 40. I've been aged by the discourse. We argue about dating apps, cancel culture, whether pineapple belongs on pizza. It doesn't. Fight me. And if Die Hard is a Christmas movie, it is. People in the coffee shop are staring again, but this time we're laughing more than yelling. Barista brings us free pastries. I think he's just happy we're not causing a scene. You know, for a basement dweller, you're surprisingly well-informed, Riley says. And for an activist, you're surprisingly tolerant of my terrible opinions. She throws a piece of croissant at me. They're not all terrible, like 60% terrible, which is actually impressive given your starting position. I'm growing as a person. Mom would be so proud if she knew I was socializing. Does she know you're socializing with a feminist who thinks your memes are garbage? She knows I'm talking to a girl. She's already planning the wedding. She doesn't need details. Riley chokes on her coffee, laughing. Oh my God, mothers are the same everywhere. Mine keeps asking when I'm going to settle down like I am some kind of wild horse. We bond over overbearing mothers, student loan debt, and the crushing weight of trying to find purpose in late-stage capitalism. It's the most fun I've had in months that didn't involve a gaming headset. As we're leaving, she stops me. Hey, so there's this protest downtown next week about housing affordability. You should come. A protest? Me? I don't really do crowds or activism or leaving the basement voluntarily. It's about making rent affordable, literally your issue. You could hold a sign that says, "Let me afford to move out." That's actually not a bad sign idea. So you'll come? I'm about to say no, make an excuse about being busy or allergic to social justice or something. But she's looking at me with these hopeful eyes like I'm a stray dog she's trying to adopt. Fine, but only because you promised there would be free snacks at these things. I never promised that. Well, there should be. How else do you attract people to activism? Everyone knows protesters work better on a full stomach. She's laughing again, shaking her head. You're ridiculous. And you're aggressively principled. We balance each other out like a weird buddy cop movie. We part ways. I go home to my basement. Mom asks how my day was. I made a friend who thinks I'm a problematic representation of modern masculinity. That's nice, dear. Is she single? Mom? Spend the rest of the week dreading the protest, but also kind of looking forward to it? Riley texts me daily updates about the protest plans, way more organized than I expected. There's a group chat with like 40 people discussing sign ideas and chant coordination. I'm in way over my head. Day of the protest arrives. I put on clean clothes. Mom takes a picture like I'm going to prom. My boy, participating in democracy. Mom, it's a housing protest, not a presidential inauguration. Still counts. I meet Riley downtown. She's wearing a shirt that says houses are human rights, not investment portfolios. She hands me a sign that says even basement dwellers deserve affordable housing. Did you make this specifically for me? Maybe. I thought it was funny. It is funny. I'll give her that. The protest is bigger than I expected. Couple hundred people, everyone chanting about rent control and corporate landlords. I'm just standing there holding my sign, feeling like an NPC in someone else's main quest. Riley is in her element, leading chants, talking to news reporters. She's like a protest Beyonce. Some guy with a megaphone starts yelling about seizing the means of housing production, and I'm pretty sure that's not how real estate works, but everyone's cheering. I'm trying to blend in, just holding my sign, when this older guy approaches me. He's wearing a suit, looks like he owns several investment properties and doesn't feel great about it. You really live in a basement? He asks, pointing at my sign. Yep, Mom's basement. Got the whole setup down there, mini fridge, gaming PC, crushing sense of underachievement. He laughs, not like making fun of me laughing, genuine laughing. My son's the same age as you, also lives with us. I keep telling my wife it's normal now. It is normal. Rent is insane. Nobody our age can afford anything unless they're selling crypto or have rich parents. We end up having a whole conversation about housing economics while the protest continues around us. Turns out he's a city council member who actually agrees with the protest, came to show support. You should speak at the next city council meeting. Personal stories matter. Sir, I appreciate the vote of confidence, but I have severe public speaking anxiety and a face made for radio. Riley appears out of nowhere like a purple-haired guardian angel. He'll do it. He's very articulate when he's not being deliberately obtuse. I'm standing right here. She ignores me, gets the council members' information. They're planning the whole thing. I'm being drafted into activism against my will. Protest ends. Everyone's pumped up, talking about next steps and organizing. I'm exhausted. This is more social interaction than I've had in months. Riley is glowing. She thrives on this stuff. That was amazing. Did you see how many people showed up? Yeah, it was cool. I mean, I'm not sure we changed anything, but the vibes were nice. She punches my arm. Of course we changed something. The council member said he'd bring it up at the next meeting. Because you volunteered me to speak without my consent. You'll be great. Just talk about living in your mom's basement. It's relatable. My entire life is relatable in the saddest way possible. We grab food at this taco truck near the protest. She's still buzzing. With energy. I'm just trying to process the fact that I went outside, held a sign, and apparently have a public speaking commitment now. You know, you're actually pretty good at this activism thing when you stop being cynical, Riley says between bites. I haven't stopped being cynical. I've just temporarily suspended my disbelief. Baby steps, I'll take it. We eat our tacos, watch the sun set over the city. It's weirdly peaceful. For the first time in a while, I feel like maybe there's a point to all this. Like maybe things could actually get better. Then I remember I have to speak at a city council meeting, and the anxiety returns immediately. Riley notices my face. You okay? Just contemplating the horror of public speaking and whether it's too late to flee the country. You'll be fine. I'll help you write what to say. We'll practice. It'll be great. She's so optimistic, it's almost annoying. Almost. We finish eating. She walks me to my car. Thanks for coming today. I know. It's not your usual scene. Thanks for dragging me out of the basement. It was actually kind of fun. Don't tell anyone I said that. She smiles, gives me a hug that lasts a second longer than a friendship hug probably should. I drive home confused about whether I just participated in activism or if this is turning into something else. Mom's waiting up when I get home. How was the protest? Weirdly good. Also, I have to speak at city council now. Long story. That's wonderful. Is your friend going to be there? Mom, she's not my friend. She's just a friend. Mom gives me that look, that knowing mother look that sees through all my nonsense. Sure, dear. Whatever you say. I retreat to my basement, text Riley. Survived my first protest, only had 2 anxiety attacks. That's progress. She responds, proud of you, basement boy. You're becoming radicalized. I'm not radicalized. I just want affordable housing and maybe health care. That's literally being radicalized in America. She's got a point. My face when I went from basement-dwelling meme enthusiast to accidental activist in 3 weeks. Be me. Week after the protest, still processing the fact that I went outside and held a sign like some kind of functional adult. Riley texts me every day with city council meeting prep, which sounds way more official than it actually is. She sends me articles, statistics, talking points. She's treating this like I'm about to argue a Supreme Court case. Riley, it's a 3-minute speech at a local council meeting, not the Gettysburg Address. Lincoln's speech was 2 minutes, and it's the most famous speech in American history. Every word counts. She's got a point, but also she's exhausting. We meet at the coffee shop to practice my speech. She's brought flashcards like I'm studying for the SATs. Okay, talk about your personal experience. Make it relatable, but not too depressing. My entire existence is depressing. How do I make living in a basement at 24 sound not depressing? Frame it as a systemic issue. You're not a failure. You're a victim of late-stage capitalism. Wow, that's somehow more depressing, but with extra steps. She makes me practice the speech 12 times, correcting my posture, my tone, my word choices. Stop saying like every 3 seconds. You sound like a valley girl. I'm nervous. Linguistic fillers are a natural response to public speaking anxiety. Then be nervous with better grammar. By the end of the practice session, I'm ready to cancel the whole thing and move to a cabin in the woods. You're going to do great. I believe in you, Riley says with terrifying enthusiasm. Your belief is misplaced, but I appreciate the confidence. City council meeting is in 3 days. I spend the time having stress dreams about forgetting my speech and showing up in my underwear. In one dream, I'm wearing a Pikachu onesie addressing the city council while they all laugh. It's very symbolic of my fears. Mom keeps giving me pep talks like I'm Rocky before the big fight. Just be yourself, honey. Mom, being myself is how I ended up in this situation. I need to be literally anyone else. Day of the meeting arrives. I put on the only button-up shirt I own. It's wrinkled because I don't know how to use an iron. Mom tries to iron it while I'm wearing it, nearly burns me. We decide wrinkled is fine. You look very professional, dear. I look like a philosophy major who got dressed in the dark, but thank you. Drive to City Hall, hands sweating on the steering wheel, questioning all my life choices. Riley texts, you got this. See you there. Don't bail. She knows me too well. Arrive at City Hall, It's this old building that smells like government bureaucracy and broken dreams. Riley's waiting outside with a whole group of people from the protest. They're here to support. "We brought a cheering section," she announces proudly. "This isn't a sporting event, it's a municipal government meeting." Same energy, different venue. We file into the council chamber. It's exactly like those boring C-SPAN videos, but in real life. Council members look tired, like they've been listening to complaints about potholes for 6 hours. There's an old lady arguing about a parking meter for 20 minutes. I respect her commitment. Finally, it's my turn. I walk up to the podium like I'm approaching a guillotine. The microphone screeches with feedback. Everyone winces. Great start. Hi, hello, testing. Is this thing on? One council member nods impatiently. I pull out my note cards, hands shaking like I'm in an earthquake simulation. My name is Jake Morrison. I'm 24 years old, and I live in my mother's basement, not because I'm lazy, but because I literally cannot afford to move out. Riley gives me a thumbs up from the audience. I continue. I have a bachelor's degree, which cost me $40,000 in student loans, and the best job I can find pays $13 an hour, which is barely enough to cover my phone bill and Hot Pocket addiction. A few people in the audience chuckle. Even one council member smiles, gaining confidence now. The average rent for a one-bedroom apartment in this city is $1,500 a month. That's more than my entire monthly income, which means I need to work negative hours to afford housing. Okay, that math doesn't make sense, but people are nodding. I'm not asking for a handout. I'm asking for rent control, for affordable housing development, for something that makes it possible for people my age to actually live in the city we grew up in. I'm on a roll now, channeling all of Riley's activist energy. My generation was told if we worked hard and got educated, we'd be fine, but that was a lie. We did everything right, and we're still broke. More people are nodding. Even some of the council members look sympathetic. So please consider the housing proposals on the table, because if you don't, the only people who will be able to afford to live here are trust fund kids and people who bought property in 1987. I finish, heart pounding, pretty sure. I blacked out for half of that. Riley's section erupts in applause. Other people join in. One council member is actually crying, an older woman who looks like everyone's grandma. I return to my seat. Riley hugs me hard. That was amazing. You totally nailed it. I think I disassociated halfway through. Did I make sense? You made perfect sense. Several council members were nodding. The meeting continues with other speakers, but apparently I was the highlight. After the meeting ends, people keep coming up to shake my hand. The city council member from the protest approaches with the crying grandma council member. That was a powerful testimony, young man, very moving. Thank you. I mostly just vented my existential dread into a microphone. Grandma council member hugs me. My grandson is your age, same situation. This issue matters to me. I'll make sure we push for those housing reforms. I'm being hugged by a government official. This is surreal. Riley is networking like crazy, getting people's information, planning next steps. She's in her element. I'm just trying not to have a panic attack from all the social interaction. We leave City Hall. The activist crew wants to go celebrate at a bar. I don't really drink. Also, bars are loud and I have social battery issues. One drink. Come on. You just did a huge thing. You deserve to celebrate. Somehow, I end up at this bar with like 15 activists. They're all congratulating me. I order a beer, nurse it for an hour while people talk about organizing strategies. Riley sits next to me. She's drinking something colorful that probably tastes like fruit and poor decisions. You really killed it tonight. I'm proud of you. Thanks. I couldn't have done it without you forcing me to. That's what friends are for, forcing you to overcome your anxiety for the greater good. We're sitting close, closer than normal friend distance, and I'm suddenly very aware of this. So what's next? More protests? More public speaking torture? Actually, I was thinking we could do something non-activist related, like normal people. Define normal, because our baseline is already pretty weird. She laughs, touches my arm, definitely touching my arm. Want to see a movie this weekend? They're doing a Studio Ghibli marathon at the Indie Theater. You like Studio Ghibli? I thought you'd consider anime problematic or something. Not all anime is problematic. Miyazaki is actually very feminist if you analyze the themes. You can't turn off the analysis brain even for cartoons, can you? It's a curse. But yes, I want to see Spirited Away on the big screen. Are you in or out? I'm in, but only because Spirited Away is objectively perfect and I'll fight anyone who disagrees. We make plans for the movie. The rest of the activist group is watching us with knowing looks. One girl leans over and whispers to Riley, "Is he your boyfriend?" Riley turns red. Actually red. I've never seen her flustered before. No, we're just friends, activist friends, comrades in the struggle. Sure, comrades who eye gaze and sit really close, totally platonic. I pretend not to hear this conversation, but I'm definitely hearing it. We leave the bar around 10 p.m. Riley walks me to my car. Thanks for coming tonight, both to the meeting and the bar. Thanks for believing I could do the whole public speaking thing, even though I was convinced I'd vomit on the podium. She laughs. We stand in awkward silence for a moment. Is this a hugging goodbye situation? A handshake? A high five? What's the protocol? She decides for us, gives me a hug that definitely lasts longer than a friend hug. See you this weekend for Ghibli? Absolutely, I'll bring my analysis-free brain. That's impossible for both of us, and you know it. I drive home. Mom's already asleep, but left a note. How did it go? I'm so proud of you. Retreat to basement, text Riley. Made it home without any post-speech breakdowns. That's character. Growth, she responds immediately. You were incredible tonight, seriously. You're just saying that because you're legally obligated as the person who forced me into this. I'm saying it because it's true. Now go to sleep. We have a movie date to prepare for. She said date. Probably didn't mean anything, but she said date. Spend the next hour overthinking the word date until I pass out from exhaustion. Wake up next day to 17 texts in the activist group chat about next steps. Riley has already organized 3 more events. She's like an activism machine that never sleeps. I respond to the group chat. Can we have at least 1 week without organized social justice? My introvert battery is at 2%. Riley. Fine, but after the Ghibli marathon, we're planning a letter writing campaign. You're going to give me an anxiety disorder. You already have an anxiety disorder. I'm just giving you purpose. Can't argue with that logic. Spend the next few days in normal basement routine. Gaming, memes, existential dread. But now I'm also randomly thinking about Riley, which is new and confusing. Like I'll be playing League and suddenly remember how she looked when she was leading protest chants. Or I'll be eating Hot Pockets and think about how she throws napkins at me when I make bad jokes. This is not good. I don't have time for feelings. Feelings are complicated. Try to convince myself it's just friendship. Very intense activist friendship. Mom notices I'm distracted. Something on your mind, honey? Just processing my newfound political consciousness and the crushing weight of systemic inequality. Are you sure it's not about that girl you keep texting? Mom, we're friends, activist comrades, warriors against the establishment. Mom gives me the look again. Your father and I were just friends for 6 months before we admitted we were dating. That's different. You guys lived in a functional economy with affordable housing. Don't change the subject. Do you like her? I open my mouth to deny it, but nothing comes out. Do I like her? She's opinionated, exhausting, forces me to do things outside my comfort zone. She's also smart, passionate, funny when she's not being aggressively political. And she looks at me like I'm more than just a basement-dwelling disappointment. I don't know, Mom. Maybe it's complicated. It's only complicated if you make it complicated. Just be honest with her. I can't be honest. What if she doesn't feel the same way? What if I ruin the friendship? What if she thinks I'm only being an activist to get with her? Those are a lot of what ifs, dear. Maybe just enjoy the movie and see what happens. Mom's wisdom is annoyingly reasonable. Weekend arrives. I change outfits 4 times before settling on jeans and a graphic tee that's not anime related. Mom approves my outfit choice. Very nice. You look like a young man who's going on a date. It's not a date. We're seeing a movie, platonically. Sure, honey, have fun. On your not date. Arrive at the indie theater early, because punctuality is one of my few functioning adult skills. Riley shows up 5 minutes later wearing a Totoro hoodie. She looks adorable. Nice hoodie. I thought you said anime was problematic? I said some anime is problematic. Miyazaki is exempt from criticism. Those are the rules. We get tickets. She insists on paying for popcorn. I'm buying because you did the scary public speaking thing. Consider it emotional labor compensation. I didn't know emotional labor came with snack benefits. I should have traumatized myself sooner. Theater is mostly empty. Just us and a few other Ghibli fans. We sit in the back row like teenagers, popcorn between us. Movie starts. I've seen Spirited Away probably 15 times, but it's different on a big screen. Halfway through the movie, Riley's hand is suspiciously close to mine in the popcorn bucket. This is it. This is the moment. Do I make a move? Do I pretend not to notice? What do I do? I panic and grab a huge handful of popcorn, effectively destroying the moment. Smooth, Jake. Real smooth. Riley looks at me weird but doesn't say anything. Movie continues. I'm barely watching. Too busy overthinking hand placement. By the time No Face is having his dramatic moment, I've decided I'm an idiot who can't read social signals. Movie ends, lights come up, we sit there for a moment. That was beautiful. Miyazaki is a genius. The environmental themes, the coming-of-age metaphors, everything. You can't even watch a kids' movie without analyzing it, can you? It's not a kids' movie. It's a masterpiece with universal themes about identity and capitalism. We're walking out of the theater, still debating the deeper meaning of Studio Ghibli films. Want to get food? There's a ramen place nearby that's actually good, Riley suggests. Is this ramen place going to cost me a month's rent? It's reasonable, and they have vegetarian options before you ask. We end up at this tiny ramen shop run by this old Japanese couple who clearly ship us immediately. The grandma owner gives us a booth in the corner, winks at Riley. Your boyfriend very handsome. Riley turns red again. He's not my boyfriend, we're just friends. Grandma nods knowingly, like she's heard that before. We order ramen. I get the spicy miso. Riley gets something with tofu and vegetables. So, real talk, what are we doing here? Riley asks suddenly. Eating ramen? Was that a trick question? No, I mean US. What are we doing? Because everyone thinks we're dating, and I don't know if we're just ignoring that or... She trails off, looking nervous, which is weird because Riley is never nervous. I mean, I like hanging out with you. You make me want to be a slightly better person, which is rare. That's sweet, but also not an answer to my question. Okay, fine, I like you. Like you. But I didn't say anything because you're way out of my league, and also I live in a basement. The words come. Out in a rush, I immediately want to take them back. Riley is staring at me. I'm waiting for her to laugh or let me down easy. Instead, she smiles. Big, genuine smile. You're an idiot. I've been flirting with you for weeks. That was flirting? I thought you were just being aggressively nice while trying to radicalize me. I can do both. I'm a multitasker. We're both laughing now, the tension breaking. So, are we like dating now? Is that what's happening? I don't know. Do you want to be dating? Because I'm not doing the ambiguous thing. I need clear communication. Very feminist of you to require clear consent for relationship status. Don't mock my values. I'm not mocking. I'm saying yes, I want to date you, clearly and unambiguously. She reaches across the table, grabs my hand. Good, because I was running out of excuses to see you without admitting I have feelings. Ramen grandma brings our food, sees us holding hands, gives us extra gyoza. For the couple, she announces, loudly. We don't correct her this time. Spend the rest of dinner talking about everything. Our childhoods, our fears, our completely different worldviews. You know we're going to argue about everything, right? I point out. That's half the fun. I don't want someone who just agrees with me. That's boring. I'm going to make so many inappropriate jokes and you're going to hate them. And I'm going to make you attend protests and read feminist theory and you're going to complain. This sounds like a terrible relationship dynamic. It sounds perfect. We leave the ramen place, walk around downtown even though it's cold. Riley grabs my hand. It's not awkward, it actually feels normal. So, do I have to tell the activist group chat or are they going to figure it out? They already know. I got 17 texts during the movie asking if we were dating yet. Your friends are nosy. They're our friends now. You're part of the group. That's the price of activism. We end up at the park, where the protest was, sitting on a bench. Never thought I'd end up here, dating a feminist activist who makes me go to city council meetings. Never thought I'd end up dating a basement-dwelling philosophy major who makes me laugh at terrible jokes. We're like a romantic comedy, but with more economic anxiety and political discourse. The best kind of romantic comedy. She kisses me. It's soft and sweet and totally unexpected. I kiss back because I'm not a complete idiot. When we pull apart, she's smiling. Was that okay, consent-wise? Very consensual. A+ on the communication. We sit there for a while just talking and existing. For the first time in years, I feel like maybe I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. Even if that place is still technically a basement for now. Drive Riley home. She lives in an apartment with 3 roommates who immediately peek through the window when I drop her off. Your roommates are spying on us. Let them. They've been invested in this since the coffee shop argument. Everyone's been shipping us this whole time and we were oblivious? Speak for yourself. I knew exactly what I was doing. She kisses me again before going inside, waves from the door. Drive home in a daze, can't stop smiling like an idiot. Mom's waiting up again. She's making this a habit. How was the not date? It was a date, we're dating now. You were right. Are you happy? Mom hugs me so tight I can barely breathe. I'm so happy for you, honey. Don't get too excited. We're probably going to drive each other crazy. That's how you know it's real love. Retreat to basement, can't sleep, too many emotions. Text Riley. Still can't believe you've been flirting with me this whole time and I had no idea. You're adorably oblivious. It's part of your charm. I have charm? Since when? Since you made me laugh during our argument about cat memes. We text until 3 a.m. about nothing and everything. Finally fall asleep with my phone in my hand like a teenager. Wake up to the activist group chat, exploding with congratulations. Apparently Riley told them we're official. There's like 50 messages, half of them are people saying, finally. One message from the guy who recorded our first argument. I called it. I have video evidence of the chemistry. My life is officially a spectator sport. Riley texts privately. Sorry about the group chat, they're excited. It's fine. I'm getting used to having way more friends than I'm emotionally prepared for. That's the activist life. We're all in each other's business. It's beautiful and annoying. Over the next few weeks, we fall into a relationship routine. She drags me to protests. I drag her to gaming sessions. She makes me read feminist theory. I make her watch sci-fi movies. We argue about everything, but in a fun way, not the angry coffee shop way. Mom loves her, keeps inviting her to family dinners. Your mother is adorable. She showed me your baby pictures. She showed you what? Mom, that's a violation of the Geneva Convention. You were such a cute baby. What happened? Student debt and capitalism happened. That's what. Riley fits into my life weirdly perfectly, like a puzzle piece I didn't know was missing. Even my gaming friends like her, she joins our Discord calls and roasts us for our terrible strategies. You're all playing this wrong. Have you considered communication and teamwork? She's trying to bring activism tactics to League of Legends. If it works, it works. 1 month into dating, we're at another city council meeting. They're actually voting on the housing proposals we spoke about. Riley's gripping my hand so tight I'm losing circulation. What if they don't pass it? What if we did all this for nothing? Then we try again. That's how change works, right? Persistent, annoying effort? She laughs nervously. Council votes. It passes 4-3. The activist section erupts. People are crying and hugging. Riley kisses me right there, the middle of City Hall. We did it. We actually made a difference. You did it? I just gave one speech and tried not to pass out. We did it, together. That's how activism works. We celebrate at the same bar, the whole activist crew. This time I actually enjoy it. I'm getting better at the social thing. Riley gives a toast. To Jake, who went from basement dweller to housing advocate. That's character development. Everyone cheers. I'm embarrassed, but also kind of proud. Later that night, walking Riley home. You know you're going to have to move out of the basement eventually, right? Now that housing is becoming more affordable? Maybe. Or maybe I'll just stay there forever and become a legend. The legend of basement Jake has a nice ring to it. Plus, Mom would be sad if I left. She's gotten used to having me around. Your mom told me she's ready for you to move out. She wants to turn your room into a craft space. Betrayed by my own mother. We reach her apartment. Her roommates are definitely watching from the window again. Want to come up? My roommates want to meet the mysterious boyfriend who destroyed a feminist with facts and logic, except the opposite. I destroyed you with emotions and cat memes. Get it right. Meet her roommates. They're all activists and artists and cool people I'm intimidated by. They grill me like I'm interviewing for a job. What are your intentions with Riley? To date her and occasionally win arguments even though she's usually right? Good answer. They warm up to me after I help them fix their Wi-Fi router. He's useful. We should keep him. I'm not a stray cat. You kind of are, though, Riley says. Can't argue with that. Leave Riley's place around midnight. She walks me to my car. Thanks for being patient with my friends. They're protective. They're great. Terrifying, but great. That's the vibe we're going for. Kiss her goodnight. Drive home thinking about how my life completely changed in 2 months. From isolated basement dweller to activist boyfriend with an actual social life. It's weird, uncomfortable, but also kind of amazing. Mom's asleep but left another note. Proud of you always, even when you lived in the basement. Lived, past tense. She's already planning my exit. Lay in bed thinking about the future. Maybe I will move out eventually, get an apartment. Be a real adult. Maybe Riley and I will keep doing activism stuff, make more changes. Maybe I'll find a job that actually uses my philosophy degree. Or maybe I won't. Either way, for the first time in a long time, the future doesn't seem terrible. Text Riley one last time. Thanks for arguing with me about cat memes that day. Thanks for being willing to learn and grow. I'm still gonna make inappropriate jokes. And I'm still gonna call you out on them. Perfect. Fall asleep smiling, phone still in hand. My face when I started dating the feminist who tried to destroy me in a coffee shop argument, and now we're making actual social change together. Be me. 3 months into dating Riley, life is weirdly good, which makes me suspicious because I'm used to disappointment. Still living in basement, but now it's ironically endearing instead of just sad. Riley's made it her personal mission to optimize my living space, which is code for stop living like a goblin. She brings over plants that I immediately forget to water. Jake, the succulent is dying. You literally just have to look at it occasionally. I looked at it last week. That should count for something. That's not how photosynthesis works. We argue about plant care like it's a presidential debate. Mom loves having Riley over, keeps dropping hints about grandchildren. Mom, we've been dating for 3 months. Slow your roll. I'm just saying, Riley would make beautiful babies. Mom, please stop visualizing hypothetical grandchildren. It's weird. Riley thinks it's hilarious, encourages Mom's chaos. I think we should get married in the spring. Lots of natural lighting. For photos, she says with a straight face. Mom's eyes light up like a Christmas tree. She's joking, Mom. She's doing a bit. Am I, though? Riley winks. I'm being tag-teamed by the women in my life. The activist group has fully absorbed me into their collective. I'm now on 3 committees, 2 organizing boards, and 1 emergency response team for protests. How did I go from playing League in my underwear to having civic responsibilities? Character growth, baby. You love to see it, Riley says. We're planning another protest, this time about public transportation funding. Can't we protest something I actually care about, like bringing back good Cartoon Network shows? Public transit is important. It's about accessibility and environmental justice. But also Adventure Time was peak television and should never have ended. She throws a pillow at me. We're at her apartment planning the protest. Her roommates are helping. One of them, Jade, keeps making comments about how domestic we are. You guys are like an old married couple. It's adorable and disgusting. We've been together for 3 months. That's not old married couple territory. You literally just debated the correct way to fold towels for 10 minutes. She has a point. We did do that. There's a right way and a wrong way, and Riley's way is objectively wrong. My way is efficient. Your way is chaos. Jade and the other roommates are watching us like we're a sitcom. This is better than Netflix, one of them says. Protest day arrives. It's cold, like hypothermia cold. Why do we keep protesting in winter? I'm wearing like 4 layers. Riley's wearing her activist outfit, which is somehow both practical and fashionable. How are you not freezing? The fire of justice keeps me warm. That's not how thermodynamics works. This protest is bigger than the housing one. Probably 200 people. There's news cameras, reporters, the whole production. Riley's being interviewed. She's in full activist mode, citing statistics and policy proposals. I'm just holding a sign that says, I just want the bus to show up on time, because I'm a simple man with simple dreams. Reporter approaches me after Riley's interview. Can I get your thoughts on the transit funding issue? Oh no, I'm not prepared. I didn't study. Public transportation is important because not everyone can afford a car, and also climate change is real despite what my uncle posts on Facebook. Nailed it. Very articulate. Definitely not rambling. Reporter looks amused but writes it down anyway. Protest continues. People are chanting. I'm chanting along even though I still feel weird about group chanting. It's like a cult, but for good causes. Riley grabs my hand mid-chant, squeezes it. Even in the middle of activism chaos, she makes me feel like I'm the only person there. That's probably love or something, which is terrifying. After the protest, we're at a diner with the crew. Everyone's pumped up. Jade is showing us the social media response. Apparently, we're trending locally. Look, there's a video of you 2 holding hands at the protest. The caption is relationship goals. I watched the video. We look happy, genuinely happy. When did that happen? When did I become a person who looks happy? You okay? Riley asks, noticing my face. Yeah, just processing the fact that I'm apparently capable of positive emotions. Character development strikes again. We eat diner food, argue about the best breakfast items, normal couple stuff. I'm stealing her hash browns. She's stealing my bacon. It's domestic as hell. Jade gives me a knowing look. What? Nothing. Just funny seeing you like this, all settled and cute. I'm not cute, I'm rugged and mysterious. Everyone at the table laughs. You're about as mysterious as a golden retriever, Riley says. Betrayed by my own girlfriend. Later that week, I'm job searching. Actually trying this time. Riley's helping me update my resume. She's ruthless about it. You can't put proficient in meme culture under skills. Why not? It shows I understand internet communication and viral marketing. It shows you spend too much time online, which employers already assume about philosophy majors. We revise my resume 17 times until it's presentable for employment. I start applying to places, mostly nonprofits, because apparently that's where philosophy majors go to die. You're not going to die, you're going to make a difference. Those might be the same thing. Surprisingly, I get an interview at an education nonprofit that does tutoring for underprivileged kids. This is perfect for you. You're good at explaining things in relatable ways. I'm good at explaining memes. I don't know if that translates to actual teaching. Same skill set, different application. Riley helps me prepare for the interview, does mock interviews that are more intense than the real thing will probably be. Tell me about a time you overcame adversity. I lived in a basement for 2 years while society slowly crushed my spirit. Then I met an angry feminist who made me care about stuff. Jake, you can't say that in a real interview. Why not? It's true. We practice until I have acceptable corporate-friendly answers that don't reveal my soul-crushing honesty. Interview day, I wear my button-up shirt again. Riley makes me borrow a tie. I look like I'm going to court. You look professional. Now go get that job. She kisses me for luck. I walk into the interview feeling like I might actually pull this off. The interviewer is this nice lady named Patricia, who immediately puts me at ease. So Jake, why do you want to work in education? Here goes nothing. Because I spent 4 years getting educated just to realize the system is broken, and maybe I can help make it less broken for kids who are coming up behind me. She smiles, writes something down. That's honest, I appreciate that. We need people who understand the struggle. Interview goes well, like surprisingly well. I'm cautiously optimistic. They say they'll call within a week. I immediately text Riley. Either nailed it or completely bombed it. No in between. That's the spirit, cautious optimism. 3 days later, I get the call. They're offering me the position, part-time to start, but it's actual employment. I call Riley immediately. I got it. I have a job, a real job. She screams into the phone. I have to hold it away from my ear. I'm so proud of you. This calls for celebration. We celebrate at the ramen place. Grandma owner remembers us. Boyfriend got job? Very good. She gives us extra gyoza again. She's become our unofficial fairy godmother. So, with this job, you could actually afford to move out, Riley says casually. Yeah, probably. I mean, it's part-time, but it's a start. Have you thought about where you'd move? Not really. I've been in denial about eventually leaving the basement. She's playing with her food, not making eye contact. You could, I don't know, maybe consider moving closer to downtown, where I live? Oh. Is she suggesting what I think she's suggesting? That would make sense logistically, shorter commute to work and protests. Right, logistically, that's the only reason. We're both dancing around the actual conversation. Riley, are you asking me to move in with you? She looks up, slightly panicked. Not necessarily move in, but like the same neighborhood so we could see each other more and maybe eventually move in if that's something you'd want. No pressure. She's rambling. Riley never rambles. I would like that, the eventually part, when we're ready. Good, because I already looked at apartments in my building and one's available next month. You what? I was being proactive. That's not weird, that's planning. I'm laughing. She's embarrassed. It's perfect. Show me the listing. She pulls it up on her phone. It's actually decent. 1 bedroom. Affordable with my new job. I could actually do this. I could actually move out. You should do this. You're 24. It's time. We look at the apartment the next week. It's small, but it's mine, potentially. The landlord is this older guy who recognizes Riley. Oh, you're the activist girl from the news. You dating this one? Yes, and he's looking for a place. Any friend of Riley's is good with me. She helped get our rent control passed. I get approved immediately. Apparently dating an activist has perks. Moving day is chaos, mom's crying, Riley's roommates are helping, everyone's emotional. My baby's leaving the nest! Mom, the nest is 1 floor up. I'm not moving to a different country. It's still symbolic. We move my stuff, which isn't much. Mostly gaming equipment and clothes. Riley's already bought me plants for the new place. These are hardy plants specifically chosen for people who forget living things exist. Your faith in me is touching. Set up my apartment, Riley. Directs the furniture arrangement like she's an HGTV host. The couch should go there for optimal natural lighting. Riley, it's a couch, not a photosynthetic organism. Everything is better with natural lighting. That's science. By the end of the day, the apartment looks good, like adult person good. We collapse on the couch, exhausted. You did it. You're officially out of the basement. Technically, I'm in a different basement. This is a ground floor apartment. It's metaphorically different. She's lying with her head on my lap. We're both too tired to move. Thanks for pushing me to do this. I wouldn't have without you. That's what partners do. They push each other to be better. Partners. I like that word. Better than boyfriend, girlfriend. More serious implies we're a team. She sits up, looks at me seriously. We are a team, right? Like, this is serious for you too? Riley, you've reorganized my entire life in 4 months. If that's not serious, I don't know what is. She kisses me, soft and sweet. Good, because I'm in this for the long haul. Even though I make terrible jokes and forget to water plants. Especially because of that, we spend our first night in my new apartment watching bad movies and eating takeout. Riley falls asleep on my couch. I cover her with a blanket. Look around my apartment, my actual apartment, not a basement. I have a job, a girlfriend, friends, a life. When did this happen? When did I become functional? Next morning, Riley wakes up, looks confused. Did I fall asleep here? Yeah, you passed out during the third Fast and Furious movie. Those movies are terrible. Why did we watch 3? Because they're hilariously terrible. There's a difference. Make breakfast together. She's better at cooking than me, which isn't saying much. Jake, you burn toast. How do you burn toast? It's a talent. Not everyone can achieve this level of culinary failure. We eat slightly burned toast and laugh about nothing. This is what happiness feels like. Just existing with someone who makes everything better. Over the next few weeks, I settle into my new routine. Work at the nonprofit is actually good. I'm helping kids understand homework and life stuff. One kid asked me if I have a girlfriend. Yeah, I do. She's pretty cool. Is she pretty? She's beautiful and also terrifying, but mostly beautiful. Kid nods sagely like he understands relationship dynamics. Riley and I fall into a rhythm. She stays over most nights, even though she lives 1 floor up. Why are we paying for 2 apartments if you're always here? Because we've only been dating 4 months. That's too soon to officially live together. You're literally wearing my hoodie while making coffee in my kitchen at 7 a.m. That's different. That's visiting. Her roommates start calling my place Riley's second apartment. You guys are ridiculous. Just move in together already, Jade says. We're being responsible and taking things slow. You organized a protest together. That's basically marriage. She has a point. 6 months into dating, Riley's lease is up for renewal. She's been thinking about her options, which I know means she's planning something. We're at the coffee shop where we first met, nostalgic vibes. Remember when you yelled at me about cat memes, I ask? I wasn't yelling, I was educating. Same energy. Barista recognizes us, gives us free pastries. You two still together? That's amazing. Most couples from dramatic first meetings don't last. We're committed to proving statistics wrong, Riley announces. We sit at the same tables from our first argument, full circle moment. So, I need to make a decision about my lease, Riley starts. Okay, what are you thinking? I'm thinking that I spend 90% of my time at your place anyway, and paying rent for a room I barely use is financially irresponsible. My heart is racing. Are you saying what I think you're saying? I'm saying maybe we should live together, officially, like combining our stuff and sharing responsibilities and all that domestic partnership nonsense. She's trying to sound casual, but I can tell she's nervous. Yes, let's do it. Let's live together, she beams, tackles me with a hug that almost knocks over my coffee. Other people in the coffee shop are watching, probably remembering our first argument. Barista starts clapping, random people join in. The character development, the growth, someone yells. We're a coffee shop legend, apparently. Riley moves in officially the next month. Her roommates are sad but supportive. You better still come to activist meetings, Jade demands. Obviously, I'm not abandoning the cause just because I'm in a committed relationship. That's what they all say. Combining our stuff is chaos. Riley has opinions about everything. Why do you have 3 different gaming chairs? They serve different purposes. They're chairs. They have one purpose, sitting. Compromise, keep one gaming chair, donate the others. She puts up her feminist art, I put up my movie posters. The apartment becomes this weird blend of both of us. Mom visits, cries when she sees us living together. My baby's all grown up. Mom, you literally cried when I moved out of the basement. You can't cry every time I have life developments. I can and I will. Riley loves my mom. They gang up on me constantly. Jake never does dishes, Riley complains. He was the same way at home. I'm right here, I can hear you both. Living with Riley is everything I expected and nothing I expected. We argue about everything, but in a fun way. She rearranges my stuff. I mess up her organization system. Jake, why are your socks in the kitchen? I was doing laundry and got distracted. By what? I don't remember, that's not the point. But we also have these perfect moments, like when we're both working on our laptops in comfortable silence, or when she falls asleep watching documentaries about climate change, or when I wake up and she's already made coffee and left me a note about some protest we're going to later. 1 year anniversary sneaks up on us. We're both terrible at remembering dates. Wait, isn't today something important? Riley asks at breakfast. Oh shit, it's our anniversary. We're the worst at this romantic stuff. We decide to celebrate by going back to the coffee shop, recreating our first meeting. I order the same regular coffee, she orders her complicated oat milk situation. We sit at the original tables. Should I insult your meme choices for old time's sake? Riley asks. Please don't, I'm fragile. Barista brings us free drinks. He's been invested in our relationship from day one. 1 year? Congratulations, you're coffee shop royalty. We take a selfie at our original arguing tables. Riley posts it with caption, 1 year since I met this basement dweller, best argument of my life. I comment, you destroyed me with facts and feelings. Our activist friends flood the comments with congratulations and jokes. Jade, can't believe you've tolerated him for a year. Me, the audacity, the disrespect. Evening comes, we're back at our apartment, ordering takeout because neither of us can cook. You know, a year ago I was just a basement dweller playing League and eating Hot Pockets, I say. And now you're an apartment dweller playing League and eating slightly better Hot Pockets. Hey, I also have a job, a girlfriend, and moderate social skills. That's progress. You've come so far, I'm genuinely proud. She's sitting cross-legged on our couch, looking at me with those eyes that made me fall for her. I'm proud of you too. You've made me less cynical, which I didn't think was possible. I haven't made you less cynical. I've just given you hope. There's a difference. Same result. I'm a functioning human being now. A barely functioning human being. Let's not get carried away. We eat our takeout, argue about what to watch, settle on a documentary about housing inequality because we're that couple now. Halfway through, Riley pauses it. Do you ever think about the future? Like long-term future? Sometimes. Why? Are you pregnant? No, oh my God, no, I'm asking philosophically. Oh, then yeah, I think about it. I think about us doing this activism stuff, making changes, growing old together while arguing about everything. That sounds perfect, right? We'll be that old couple at protests with walkers and aggressive political opinions. Goals. She leans against me. We finish the documentary. I think about how everything changed because of one coffee shop argument. How I went from isolated and directionless to having purpose and partnership. Thanks for yelling at me about memes that day, I say. Thanks for being willing to learn and change. I'm still going to make terrible jokes. And I'm still going to call you out on them. That's our dynamic. Perfect. Later that night, lying in bed, Riley's already asleep. I'm thinking about how I used to think I'd be alone forever. How I thought my life peaked in the basement. But here I am, in an apartment I pay for with a person I love, doing work that matters. I still make terrible jokes and forget to water plants. I still play too much League and eat junk food. But now I also go to protests and city council meetings. I have friends and purpose and hope. Riley mumbles something in her sleep about dismantling patriarchy. Even unconscious, she's an activist. It's adorable. I fall asleep thinking about tomorrow's protest, our next anniversary, the future. For the first time in my life, the future looks good. Epilogue. Time because I'm feeling sappy. 2 years later, we're still together, still arguing, still protesting. I got promoted to full-time at the nonprofit, making actual money. Riley's working at a major advocacy organization, making actual change. We adopted a cat named Chairman Meow because Riley thought it was hilarious. You named our cat after a dictator. A dictator who also had a good brand, that's marketing. The cat is terrible, knocks over all Riley's plants, I love him. We're still part of the activist group. Now we're the ones helping new people get involved. Some nervous college kid shows up to his first protest. I've never done this before. I don't know if I'll be good at it. Neither did I. I just showed up and let my girlfriend radicalize me. Worked out great. Riley punches my arm. That's not the advice we're giving. Why not? It's true. We're planning bigger things now, campaigns and policy changes. Sometimes I think about basement Jake, playing games and avoiding life. He'd be shocked by current Jake, who has opinions about municipal government. Mom's still crying at every life milestone. You're just so grown up. Mom, I'm 26. This is literally expected development. Riley's talking about going back to school, getting a master's in public policy. You should come with me, get your master's in philosophy. Absolutely not. One useless degree is enough. It's not useless if you use it right. We're probably going to argue about this for months, then I'll probably end up applying. That's how our relationship works, she pushes. I resist, then I realize she's right. Sometimes the activist group asks how we make it work. You guys are so different. How do you not kill each other? We do want to kill each other sometimes, we just choose not to, Riley explains. She's teaching me patience. I'm teaching her that not everything requires a political analysis. Everything requires political analysis, you just haven't realized it yet. See, this is what I'm talking about. We're happy though, genuinely happy. Even when we're arguing about the correct way to organize protest signs or whether Die Hard 2 is also a Christmas movie. Looking back, that coffee shop argument was the best thing that ever happened to me. Got destroyed by a feminist, ended up destroying my own self-limiting beliefs. Now I'm just a guy living with his activist girlfriend, trying to make the world slightly less terrible. And honestly, that's perfect. Final moment, one random Tuesday. We're sitting on the couch, Riley's grading papers for the class she teaches. I'm working on a program proposal for the nonprofit. Chairman Meow is knocking things off the coffee table like the chaos agent he is. Riley looks up. Hey, remember when you thought your life peaked in the basement? Bold of you to assume I ever thought I peaked anywhere. Fair, but you know what I mean. Yeah, I remember. Seems like a different lifetime ago. You've come so far, we've come so far. We really have. From coffee shop enemies to domestic partners with a terrible cat. Chairman Meow meows indignantly. He's not terrible, he's spirited. He knocked over your succulent yesterday, the one plant I managed to keep alive. Okay, he's a little terrible. We go back to our work, comfortable silence. This is it. This is the life I never thought I'd have. And it all started because some purple-haired feminist thought my memes were problematic. Best argument ever. That feeling when you realize getting destroyed in a coffee shop debate was actually the beginning of your entire life changing for the better.